Good evening, everyone. Call it a Sunday showdown, a face-off of political heavyweights on different morning shows with two very different agendas. Vice President Joe Biden and his predecessor, former Vice President Dick Cheney. They traded jabs over the airwaves today on everything from the tactics for fighting terrorism to the treatment and trials of terror suspects. Here's Cheney defending the use of enhanced interrogation techniques and questioning the Obama administration's handling of the Christmas Day terror suspect.
I think the professionals need to make that judgment. We've got people we had in our administration, I'm sure they're still there, many of them were career personnel, who are experts in this subject. And they are the ones that you ought to turn somebody like Abdul Muttalib over to. Let them be the judge of whether or not he's prepared to cooperate and how they can best achieve his cooperation.
But you believe former Vice President on ABC this morning, and that was some tough talk. It's just getting started here. Really, our Kate Baldwin is at the White House with more. Hi, Kate.
Hey there, Don. Well, while not in the same room, the vice presidents definitely sparred today, especially over national security and some of the issues that you mentioned. First, listen here to former Vice President Dick Cheney. He's really suggesting that the Obama administration is underestimating the threat of al-Qaeda. Here he's taking on comments previously made by Vice President Biden on CNN that an attack like 9/11 is unlikely. Another one. Listen here.
I think, in fact, the situation with respect to al-Qaeda to say that, that was a big attack we had on 9/11, but it's not likely again. I just think that's dead wrong. I think the biggest strategic threat the United States faces today is the possibility of another 9/11 with a nuclear weapon or a biological agent of some kind. And I think al-Qaeda is out there, even as we meet, trying to figure out how to do that.
Now, Don, Vice President Biden came out swinging against his predecessor on 2 Sunday morning talk shows. Listen here.
I don't think the former Vice President Dick Cheney listens. The President of the United States said in the State of the Union we're at war with al-Qaeda. They are, in fact, not able to do anything remotely like they were in the past. They are on the run. I don't know where Dick Cheney has been. Look, it's one thing, again, to criticize. It's another thing to sort of rewrite history.
And aiming to prove his point almost in rebuttal, Vice President Biden went on to say that the Obama administration, Don, has eliminated a dozen of al-Qaeda's top 20 leaders, as well as taken out 100 of their associates. Very, very pointed today, Don.
Yeah, very pointed. Much of this centered on terrorism, and Christmas Day bomber played a big role as well. And another heated moment, the two men discussing that. We saw a little bit at the top of the show. Let's listen to more and we'll talk about it, Kate.
All right.
The thing I learned from watching that process unfold, though, was that the administration really wasn't equipped to deal with the aftermath of an attempted attack against the United States, in the sense that they didn't know what to do with the guy.
He's entitled to his own opinions. He's not entitled to rewrite history. He's not entitled to his own facts. The Christmas Day bomber was treated the exact way that he suggested that the shoe bomber was treated. Absolutely the same way.
Now, if you look at this in a broader context, Don, it was really a deliberate way by the White House of really putting someone out there to really have a rebuttal out there against Vice President Dick Cheney, who you've talked about, and I'm sure you will tonight. He's been a very high level, one of probably the highest level critic of the Obama administration so far.